Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalam ala sayidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to all. Semua barisan kepimpinan UiTM, semua staff akademik, non-staff academics, semua pelajar UiTM, alumni, all UiTM collaborators, partners. Alhamdulillah, we are able to gather again in a series of motivasi transformasi for 2022. Thank you very much to Pejabat Naib Chancellor UiTM, Bahagian Transformasi Universiti and the co-organizer Jabatan Komunikasi UiTM. Ladies and gentlemen, with me today is Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Abdul Wahid, the chairman of Bursa Malaysia. How are you, Tan Sri?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So thank you very much, Tan Sri, for giving us an opportunity to be here to broadcast our program today in Bursa Malaysia. So I'm Hayati Saad, the Assistant Vice Chancellor of UiTM, take charge on the strategy of UiTM, will be the moderator for this program. Inshallah, our program will be in around 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it will be 4 sections. So the first three section will be the discussions between me and Tan Sri, okay, and the last section will be inshallah Q&A if we have any question from the participant online today. So I hope, alhamdulillah, everybody actually ready online. So before we continue, Tan Sri, allow me to read your CV. So alhamdulillah, a brief preview of Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar. He is currently 58 years old, but looks still young, Tan Sri. Alhamdulillah. He is regarded as one of the most versatile corporate leaders in Malaysia, having successfully led 4 major organizations in infrastructure development, telecommunications, financial services, and investment management. He served as a group chairman of Pemodalan Nasional Berhad, PNB, Malaysia's largest fund management company, from August 2016 to June 2018. Following completion of his term as a senator and minister in the Prime Minister's Department in charge of academic planning from June 2013 to 2019, June 2019. Alhamdulillah. Prior to his cabinet appointment, Tan Sri Abdul Wahid was formerly the president and CEO of Maybank, Malaysia's largest public listed company, as we know, and one of the leading banking group in the Southeast Asia. From May 2008. He was credited with transforming Maybank into a regional banking group and a global leader in Islamic finance. Prior to joining Maybank, he was the group CEO of Telekom Malaysia Berhad from July 2004 until its demerger with Axiata Group Berhad in April 2008. He was also formerly the CEO of UEM Group Berhad. This is about engineering, infrastructure, Tan Sri. His first role as the CEO was at the age of 37. Very young at that time. All right. He successfully led the turnaround of UEM Group, Malaysia's largest infrastructure development of conglomerate which owned Plus Expressway, following its takeover by Khazanah Nasional in 2001. And alhamdulillah, I think Tan Sri also, as a member of Association of Chartered Certified Accountant, SCCA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, and basically he has received many numerous awards. Tan Sri, congratulations. I think in 2006 he received Malaysia CEO of the Year 2006 award, the Asian Bankers 2013 Leadership Achievement Award, and many more. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, we go back to our main topic. After I finish reading Tan Sri's profile, we go to our main topic discussion for today is transformation towards internationally high-impact academic institutions from corporate perspective. As we know, of course, the transformation is about the change from the current state, whatever, to the desired state, which is in any organization as we wish for. And of course, when we refer to the internationally high-impact academic institutions, it is about we at the national and also international arena, how we serve our community, how we be able to provide high-quality education. At the same time, we can give impact to our community, to change our community, to provide the what we call whatever market required in terms of our labors, our graduate, and our graduate should be able ready for the market. And at the same time, talking on the how the end institution, the existing of end institutions like UiTM be able to help to improve life, society, and also at the same time, of course, Tan Sri, very important social economy, Tan Sri, how especially if we be able to change B40, Tan Sri, to above T20. That one I think very important. So the topic will focus on the organization transformation aspect from corporate perspective, in which yang berbagai Tan Sri, as I read just now, as the key pivotal player in leading the change for Maybank, UEM group, and maybe if let's say Tan Sri prefer to focus on Maybank, such transformation was done in organizational management as one of the biggest bank. And it is very, we hope, Tan Sri, whatever you're going to share, especially on how the process of the transformation itself, how you manage the transformations in Maybank, and also whatever your experience previously, be able for us to adopt and adapt, especially for Universiti Technology Mara, inshallah. So I align back a bit to the UiTM, Tan Sri. So UiTM has set a medium-term goal to drive UiTM to become a top world QS World University Rankings, top 300. So we actually, based on those strategic goals, to be a globally renowned university, we have we align to 3 strategic thrusts, which is quality educations, global excellence, and value-driven performance. So based on this one, it is important. Why, for example, we want to go. It's not so much on ranking, Tan Sri. However, it is very important for UiTM to be a global player, because this is about we want to bring the image of UiTM to the global agenda, to increase our image and reputation, so that Tan Sri, UiTM will continue to be relevant, and inshallah we hope that we be able to support the main purpose of UiTM itself as the university to support for Bumiputra, Tan Sri. So alhamdulillah, of course, throughout those kind of things which I highlight, Tan Sri, we aware the challenge for UiTM people to bear and work together. So it's not easy task, but of course, it demands for transformation, which is the main focus of the topic, and it demands actually the change, the collaborations, how our people be able to synergize together. It's about solidarity, and it's about the trust of the responsibility, and by each of the UiTM staff, from top to bottom and bottom to up. It is about all the people in the organization. So inshallah, Tan Sri, we go, allow us, we go to the first round, Tan Sri. So again, before that, Tan Sri and all who are online, so inshallah, our session, I forgot to mention, our session inshallah will be both in Bahasa Malaysia and Bahasa Inggeris. So it depends on situations. Sometimes I will explain in Bahasa Malaysia as well. And Tan Sri also can talk also in Bahasa Malaysia or Bahasa Inggeris. Tan Sri is on your keselesaan, Tan Sri, inshallah. Alright, Tan Sri. First of all, if we refer back to Maybank or UEM groups, whatever you love to share, what is actually your perspective on the concept of transformation? There are few sub question. I read first, Tan Sri. All right. So what is actually a part of those perspective? So what is your word of wisdom? Because you have faced with all such kind of transformation. How important those kind of transformation to an organization, and at the same time, how you actually, based on your own experience, how you manage those processes of transformation. Because when we refer to Maybank, whatever in Malaysia, and at the moment, we have around 20 Maybanks from 20 states around the world. And all those kind of things is not easy, Tan Sri. How is actually the processes of transformation happen? How is actually about the structure of organizations, about the governance of the organization? How is actually about you manage people? Yeah, I think I pass to you, Tan Sri, for the first session. Okay.
Well, thank you, Prof. Hayati. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. First of all, thank you, UiTM, Prof. Hayati in particular, and friends for inviting me to be here this morning. Now, it is indeed a privilege to be associated with UiTM, which is one of the preeminent institutions in education in this country. I always say that having been the chairman of the board of UiTM before, which typically has got about 30,000 students, for UiTM is 7 times bigger. Yeah. And therefore, the complexity is certainly a lot more and more challenging for sure. So let me perhaps, in the first few minutes, talk about my own personal journey, and in particular, in the transformation of Maybank, and understand how it was achieved, and also understand what are the lessons learned, perhaps, if I may. So let me begin with my own personal journey, if I may. I grew up in Johor Bahru. I was born as the 9th child in a family of 11 siblings. So saya anak ke-9 daripada 11 orang adik-beradik, dan kami daripada sebuah keluarga yang susah. So life was difficult when we were young. So being poor, money was something that we did not have enough of, and therefore I used to ask the elders, what is the profession that would make most money? And I was told that the accountants make a lot of money. Now, being good in numbers, I felt that okay, that could be a natural profession for me. So Alhamdulillah, as you know, we all had the Dasar Ekonomi Baru, new economic policy, where among other things, the idea was to take the families out of poverty by giving the children good education. So Alhamdulillah, I was fortunate to be sent to MRSM Seremban and became anak mara from the age of 13, and later sent to the UK to do A-levels and professional accountancy under scholarship from Mara, and came back in 1987 as an ACCA graduate. So as an accountant, my ambition was very simple, to be the chief financial officer of a major public listed company on Bursa Malaysia. So Alhamdulillah, at the age of 37, in March 2001, I was appointed as the Group Chief Financial Officer of Telekom Malaysia, which at that point in time was one of the top 4 public listed companies listed on Bursa Malaysia. So to me, Alhamdulillah, that was actually a great achievement for me personally, to meet my personal objectives. Now, I must say, going back to the issue of the accounting profession, I must say that the UiTM has done, among others, very well in this area, having produced many chartered accountants from among the Bubitra students. So I have many family members, my nephews and cousins who were educated in UiTM, actually obtained the professional qualification, and in particular ACCA. So thank you, UiTM, for that, and I hope you will continue to do a lot more then. So back to my own journey. So I never expected to go beyond being a CFO, but that opportunity came in October 2001 when I was invited to spearhead the turnaround of the Group. So Alhamdulillah, we did that, and within 3 years, Group was able to be turned around, and I was then asked to go back to Telecom Malaysia as the group CEO. The mandate then was to transform Telecom Malaysia to be a regional telecoms company with particular emphasis on mobile communications. So Alhamdulillah, that went well. We expanded our operations in Singapore, into Indonesia, and strengthened our presence in countries like Sri Lanka, Cambodia, and Bangladesh. And until a decision was made to separate Telecom Malaysia's business into two, to allow the mobile communications business to be grouped together and listed separately under Axiata Group Berhad, and for Telecom Malaysia to be repurposed and to focus on the development of high-speed broadband in public-private partnership with the government of Malaysia. So that was done in April 2008, and after which I was invited to join Maybank to spearhead the transformation of Maybank to be a regional banking group. And Alhamdulillah, that's something which I felt quite interesting, and to me perhaps most challenging. So I joined Maybank on 1st of May 2008, and at that point in time there were three major challenges that we were facing. The first was to follow through on three major acquisitions Maybank had embarked into of banks in Indonesia, Pakistan, and Vietnam, costing some 11 billion ringgit. And there were some controversies surrounding those acquisitions in terms of the valuation. Many people felt that we perhaps overpaid for those banks, and as a result, our share price actually went down. But to me, the challenge was how do we navigate through those controversial acquisitions, Prof, and to raise the necessary financing. 11 billion ringgit was a lot of money under such trying circumstances. But that was actually the first challenge. The second challenge was how to deal with the global financial crisis that was unfolding at that point in time. So you will all remember that by September 2008, quite a number of global banks, international banks, had collapsed. So banks like ABN AMRO, Lehman Brothers, and even big banks like Citibank almost collapsed. And in fact, I remember getting that phone call from the CEO of Citibank in Malaysia, asking Maybank for assistance to make available some cash to be able to meet the withdrawals that they were experiencing in their branch in Penang. So I think, as you know, with any financial crisis, when there's a crisis of confidence, there's a risk of a bank run. And the idea would be whenever there's a request for withdrawal of deposits, you must be able to meet those withdrawals, because otherwise, the moment you say that, sorry, we don't have any more cash, can you come back tomorrow, then you end up with more and more people wanting to withdraw cash. But Alhamdulillah, that wasn't required and things stabilized. But the point I wanted to make here is actually there was a need to make sure that we manage the situation to avoid Maybank and other local banks from being impacted by the global financial crisis. So that was the second challenge. The third challenge was in respect of the underlying financial performance of Maybank. Now, Maybank had been the number one bank in Malaysia for more than 10 years. And every year, year in, year out, we will be reporting a record profit. But when we started to analyze in detail, we were growing by only 5% per annum in terms of profit and assets and financing, when the competitors were growing much faster by 20% per annum. I'm referring to banks like CIMB, Public Bank, and even RHB. So if nothing was done, we felt that within 2 years, CIMB and Public Bank would have overtaken Maybank, and Maybank would be relegated to number 3. And so obviously that's something which we do not want to happen. So when we demonstrated these issues to the Maybankers, we all then agreed that we don't want that to happen. Although the analyst community had already come up to that conclusion, because in terms of market cap, Maybank's market capitalization had already dropped to below that of CIMB's and public banks' market cap. So what we did then was to agree on the need for a performance improvement program to be undertaken. We called it LEAP 30. It's a series of 30 initiatives to be implemented, covering as simple as how do you stimulate sales, how do you optimize your cost, how do you increase your share of wallet from among your corporate customers, how do you improve customer service, and so on. So we then assign who's supposed to do what, by when, and what's the expected outcome. And we executed this plan very rigorously. And Alhamdulillah, within 18 months, we were able to see the outcome. So by that time, we could see our assets and deposits were growing faster, our customer service was enhanced, our asset quality improved, and our profit after tax and after minority interest improved to 3.8 billion ringgit for the financial year 2010. And by that time, Maybank was back as the number one bank in Malaysia and the most valuable company listed on Bursa Malaysia. Now, having said that, we were worried about the sustainability because to be able to achieve that kind of huge improvements, we had to work 12 to 16 hours per day. In fact, half of the time you can find me and some of our colleagues in the office beyond midnight. Most of our management meetings were held after dinner because we were so busy during the day doing a lot of other things. And professional fatigue was coming in. So meaning that, yes, you could probably work so hard for 6 months, maybe 1 year, but beyond 18 months, it was not sustainable. We were very tired already. So we then said, okay, we need to do something. And
sorry, Tan Sri, how many of staff at that time in Maybank?
Well, Maybank had some 27,000 people in Malaysia and another 15,000 abroad, basically. Okay. Particularly the biggest would be in Indonesia outside, but the majority would be in Malaysia. Right. So what we did was to then gather the top 1,000 leaders of Maybank into a brainstorming session, strategic session. And these are, apart from the heads of department, business leaders, also our branch managers and so on. So Maybank had close to 400 branches at that point in time. So we gathered at the PICC in Putrajaya. And that's actually when we came up with the need to revisit our mission. And that's the mission of humanizing financial services. Well, what you mean by humanizing financial services? Well, it's about providing people with convenient access to financing. It's about providing our customers with fair terms and pricing. It's about advising our clients based on their needs rather than how much money we can make as a bank. And it's truly about being at the heart of the community, whether it's the people community or the business community. And we also then decided to reorganize our structure to make it more effective, less interdependency, so to speak. And so we created this new House of Maybank, where we have the 3 pillars of community financial services, wholesale banking, and insurance and takaful, with Islamic finance and international operations cutting across that. So again, Alhamdulillah, things worked well. So with that, it was much easier to actually work, and Maybank continued to perform. And you can see from the chart which I'm showing here that Maybank's profit continued to improve from the 3.8 billion ringgit that I mentioned in 2010 to 4.4 billion ringgit in 2011, 5.6 billion ringgit in 2012, and by the end of 2013, our profit had grown to 6.4 billion ringgit. And by that time, you can see the gap between Maybank in yellow and CIMB in black and Public Bank in red had widened significantly. and Maybank was then a very clear leader. And that gap continued until today between Maybank, Public Bank, and CIMB. I guess the point I wanted to make here is that when you have a clear purpose and you support that with a clear strategy and you focus on execution, and I think, inshallah, you'll be successful and it'll be sustainable. Now, Prof, if I may, one other issue that we had at that point in time was how did we deal with the issue of riba. So many of us, when we join a bank, our family members will be concerned about the source of our income, whether it's halal or otherwise. So many of us then gathered together. We said, look, what if we can make it as our mission to improve Islamic banking such that one day the majority of the business in Maybank would be Sharia compliant, and we can then also turn Maybank into a global leader in Islamic finance. Now, if I may make it very clear, banking is a very capital intensive business. You need a lot of capital to be able to actually fund your growth. So for someone like Maybank, for example, it is not possible for us to pursue a strategy to be a global leader in banking because it will require a lot of capital and resources, and we don't have that. But we felt that, look, we can be that regional champion, so within ASEAN, but connected to the international financial centers through our branches in cities like New York, London, Hong Kong, and Shanghai, and pursue that aggressively. So being a regional leader in banking is possible. But if there is one area where Maybank can be a global champion, that would be in Islamic finance. So that's why we made it as our purpose, our desire to promote Islamic finance. So Alhamdulillah, we came up with this Islamic first strategy. So in the past, if you were to walk into a Maybank branch, the typical offering would be conventional banking, but we have a small Islamic window. What we did was to invert it. So the moment you walk into any Maybank branch, automatically you'll be given a Sharia compliant product. And but if you need conventional, there's a small window. It's almost like a supermarket. Tesco supermarket, for example, if you go to the Tesco in the UK, it's the normal Tesco supermarket with a small halal section. But Tesco in Malaysia is the other way around. Everything is halal except for the small pork section and wine section. And because of that strategy, Alhamdulillah, we were able to grow Islamic banking very fast, such that today, based on 31st December 2021's figures, Maybank Islamic has got total assets of 262 billion ringgit. It is 3 times bigger than Bank Islam, and it is also the 5th largest Islamic bank in the world, if I may. So that's the kind of pronounced achievement that we were able to get. So if I may, what are the lessons learned? There are many, Prof, if I may. The first set of lessons learned will be in terms of corporate leadership and management. First of all, you need to be clear about your mandate. You then perform your full diagnosis of your organization. You establish what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yes, I'm talking about the good old SWOT analysis that we learned in school many years ago. Yeah. It was relevant then and still relevant today. You then need to match the task required with the management talent internally before you bring in reinforcements from outside to fill in the gap. So for me personally, I always go in alone. I will not even bring my secretary to the new organization because I think it's important for us to utilize whatever resources that we have in the new organization so that we can actually move faster. But if there are gaps, then you can strengthen it and bring in reinforcements from outside. Okay. The fourth is about the need to revisit the vision and mission to ensure relevance and articulate a clear purpose or reason for being. And you need to then undertake scenario planning and be prepared for the worst in any crisis, because you can't control the external environment. Then you need to formulate your strategies and action plans together with your management team. So don't do it alone. Together with the team members, you need to communicate your plans and you need to update them regularly with all levels of employees. You set clear and measurable short-term and long-term targets with clear timeline and accountability, and align the interests of your management with that of the shareholders for typical organizations. And I suppose for commercial organizations, very important for you to share the rewards, not just with your management team members, but with everyone in the organization. Now, the second set of lessons learned will be in terms of management principles. Always focus on the fundamentals and don't worry about the short-term market fluctuation. Embrace the best practices in corporate governance, and address the core issue of customer service, product innovation, competitive pricing, and effective delivery channel, and profitable market share. Be clear on what the costs and benefits of every venture or initiative that you're doing. Don't overspin. Sometimes we tend to focus too much on the form rather, the branding, the extra communication. To me, you only do that after you've achieved fundamental improvements. I always say that the form without substance will not get you anywhere, but once you have achieved fundamental improvements, then you can complement it with a good form, branding or rebranding as the case may be. Now, the third set of lessons learned would be in terms of personal leadership skills and attributes. Now, a good leader must have a clear purpose, must be visionary, articulate, authentic, and must have unquestionable integrity. You don't have to be that typical loud corporate leader to be effective. In fact, for Asian organizations, being too loud can be counterproductive because you may end up intimidating your people, and they become very quiet after that. You're not getting the best from them. Now, in the past, perhaps leaders can get away with being by commanding from the top, but I'm afraid in today's age and environment, leaders are expected to be more hands-on and go to the ground. Not just tell people what to do, but also demonstrate how things can be done. Number 4 is about they need to be professional, honest, sincere, and being truthful to your board, your management colleagues, and your employees. And don't hesitate to say sorry whenever you've made a mistake. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. We make mistakes. What is important is for us to learn from our mistakes and to not to repeat them accordingly. And the last point for me, Prof, is about the need to focus on your task at hand and to do it well, and inshallah, your reputation will precede you. So those are the 3 sets of lessons learned which I thought I would share with you. Maybe let me stop here first. Thank you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah ya. Thank you Tan Sri. Terima kasih Tan Sri ya. Okay, so maybe we mix a bit with bahasa Malaysia ya Tan Sri. So Alhamdulillah ya, kalau kita lihat apa yang Tan Sri share ya, especially the movement of Maybank ya, daripada up to the previously when you mention on the challenge of dari segi 5% per annum only you Maybank be able to reach and compared to kalau bandingkanlah dengan yang lain lah, macam you mention on RHB, CMB dan sebagainya, public bank akhirnya as yang tadi macam Tan Sri tunjukkan pada graf, okay, kita dapati Maybank mampu mencapai until now I think yang macam Tan Sri mention tadi sehingga Disember 2021 yang mana Maybank mencapai the top and seperti yang Tan Sri mention juga, okay, it is not about saya campur lah it is not about leading as a whole as the global bank because that one memerlukan some capital investment yang mana that one memerlukan Maybank sendiri untuk having certain financial requirement untuk menjadi in the top world tetapi seperti mana yang Tan Sri mention, it is focused on the Islamic finance Tan Sri. So I think that one is good it's good strategy in terms of Maybank. And Tan Sri juga ada mention based on whatever lesson learned tadi, yang mana menekankan from the top to bottom corporate leadership, and even until at the bottom talking on the reward you are talking more kalau tadi saya yang dengar banyak kepada management principles personal leadership skills and attitude at the first place on the corporate leadership semua itu adalah melibatkan kepimpinan it's about how we manage Tan Sri human lah Jadinya kalau kita dengar yang tadi tu banyak Tan Sri highlight it's about the corporate perspective Maybank tetapi kalau kita relate balik Tan Sri dengan we are talking on internationally high impact academic institutions like UiTM seperti UiTM yang mana it is sangat penting Tan Sri yang mana kita ingin memastikan the relevance of the UiTM itu sendiri untuk support seperti mana yang mula-mula tadi saya maklumkan untuk support Bumi Putra because UiTM sendiri kita mempunyai 34 campuses, very big institutions, and the target is untuk achieve 200k enrollment Tan Sri. And alhamdulillah up to now based on the last October we already achieved 85,400 students with 18,000 plus Tan Sri staff so alhamdulillah so kalau kita berbalik kepada facts on the kalau tadi Tan Sri kata complexity so berbalik kepada UiTM itu sendiri Tan Sri, dan juga kalau kita comparekan dengan kita bandingkan dengan Maybank on the organizational transformation so kalau kita refer saya quotekan sedikit ini daripada buku Marx Samuel 2018 dalam buku ini B state so B state, B tu ada kita relate kepada 3 Tan Sri. B itu bold, brave and breakthrough so it's about bold leadership, it's about brave culture and it's about breakthrough result. So bagaimanakah Tan Sri kalau kita relatekan balik dengan principle of transformation, apa pun jadi dengan Maybank up to now, and kalau kita balikkan kepada kedudukan UiTM sekarang ini Tan Sri, how is actually you be able to relate transformation Maybank dengan transformation yang UiTM ingin capai sekarang ini, and bagaimana talking on the work culture budaya kerja Tan Sri, because whatever it is about to change, to transform, it is about people kan Tan Sri who are actually doing that so it's about budaya kerja bagaimana untuk menjadi competence dan bagaimana untuk menjadi excellent and behind that of course Tan Sri mention tadi challenge kan, cabaran-cabaran apa saja tentang Maybank. Namun bagaimana to relate back the reality on the academic institutions how university seperti UiTM be able to transform the process the transformation process, and how to relate whatever the strategy you put Tan Sri letakkan tadi di Maybank whatever yang Tan Sri kongsikan tadi, untuk kita relatekan balik Tan Sri dengan strategi sebagai sebuah institusi seperti UiTM. Silakan Tan Sri.
Terima kasih Prof. Banyak soalan tu, banyak very wide to cover. Mungkin saya boleh cuba address ini dalam beberapa perkara. Jadi pertama sekali saya nak berikan penekanan di sini bahawa untuk menerajui sebuah institusi pendidikan yang begitu besar seperti UiTM ini adalah satu perkara yang sukar, yang kompleks. Maknanya bagi saya lebih mudah untuk menerajui sektor korporat sebab dia punya matlamat tu adalah lebih jelas dari segi quantification. Maknanya dia berdasarkan kepada angka. At the end of the day, how do you increase bagaimana kita mempertingkatkan pasaran kita, bagaimana kita optimize cost, nak menjana keuntungan, daripada keuntungan itu boleh bayar lebih dividen kepada pemegang saham, dan dengan itu nilai saham meningkat, menjadikan pemegang saham semua happy, bahagia, ya, dan suka. So bagi saya itu lebih mudah berbanding dengan universiti yang lebih banyak mencabar. Apapun bagi saya, sama ada organisasi itu berdasarkan kepada keuntungan ataupun matlamat lain, ada kaedah-kaedahnya. Dan bagi saya, kalau dalam transformasi korporat, dulu kami terlibat dalam program transformasi syarikat berkaitan kerajaan, GLC Transformation. Jadi ada banyak panduan-panduan yang telah diberikan kepada syarikat bagaimana untuk membantu syarikat tersebut menjalani proses transformasi. Jadi alhamdulillah, berdasarkan kepada apa yang kita belajar dalam GLC Transformation program tu, di mana kesannya amat ketara. Sebagai contoh, dari segi pulangan, keuntungan telah meningkat 10% setahun. Dari segi nilai modal pasaran telah meningkat 2.9 kali ganda sepanjang tempoh transformasi daripada tahun 2004 hingga 2015 sebagai contoh. Jadi ini telah memberikan kita semangat bahawa mana-mana organisasi juga boleh mencapai kejayaan sekiranya kita fokus kepada matlamat dan pelaksanaan inisiatif dan strategi yang telah digariskan. Jadi dalam konteks universiti, saya sebenarnya tertarik dengan program transformasi universiti. Ini saya masih ingat ketika itu apabila dilancarkan oleh Tan Sri Idris Yusof sebagai Menteri Pendidikan Tinggi ketika itu, di mana kita telah pun ada Higher Education Blueprint 2016 hingga 2025 yang boleh memberikan kita panduan bagaimana untuk mempertingkatkan institusi pendidikan. Jadi ini disokong oleh beberapa buku panduan transformasi, antaranya berkaitan dengan tadbir urus, board governance, berkenaan dengan income generation, pendapatan, berkenaan dengan strengthening performance management, meningkatkan prestasi pengurusan, tentang academic productivity dan cost efficiency, career pathways, dan bagaimana untuk mempertingkatkan pelaporan kewangan. Jadi bagi saya banyak apa yang boleh dilakukan terkandung dalam buku-buku panduan ini, dan apa yang perlu kita lakukan adalah untuk mengkajinya dan mengadaptasi untuk keperluan universiti masing-masing, dan kemudian really fokus kepada execution. Ini bagi saya amat penting sekali sebab kita kadang-kadang banyak sama ada organisasi ataupun pihak kerajaan, kita banyak plan, tetapi kurang keberkesanan adalah apabila kita tidak fokus kepada pelaksanaannya. Jadi bagi saya, kalau kita fokus melaksanakan apa yang kita dah gariskan sebagai strategi kita, inisiatif kita, action plan kita, plan tindakan, dan walaupun kita tidak dapat mencapai 100%, mungkin 80%, 90% pun impact dia adalah signifikan. Jadi bagi saya, untuk kita yang dalam institusi pendidikan ini, apakah yang kita boleh buat? Well, mungkin pertama sekali pastikan kita ketahui apakah tugas kita, apa tanggungjawab kita, dan laksanakan dia dengan baik. Ya. So don't think about other people, look at just ourselves, what we can do to improve the situation. Yang kedua, kita perlu bekerjasama dengan baik dengan rakan-rakan kita, rakan-rakan sepasukan. Tak kira daripada jabatan yang sama ataupun tidak, bersama-sama menjalankan tugas masing-masing untuk mencapai matlamat organisasi. Saya sering menyebut tentang satu budaya kerja yang saya panggil hot culture. Hot culture ni berkait rapat dengan perkataan being honest, open and trusting. Jujur, terbuka dan juga percaya antara satu sama lain. Ini bermakna kalau A ada masalah dengan B, A perlu memberitahu kepada B secara langsung. Jangan A bercakap kepada C tentang B. Kalau dalam mesyuarat itu, pastikan kita menumpukan fokus kepada pembentang. Jangan ada side talk, sebab biasa saya lihat kalau mesyuarat yang besar-besar ni, orang pengerusi cakap something ataupun ada pembentangan, ada pula orang lain yang ada berbisik-bisik bercerita benda lain. So hormati pembentang, pastikan cuma ada satu perbualan. Maknanya there's only one conversation in meeting, no side conversation. Dan jangan main phone semuanya. Dan kalau ada isu, bangkitkan isu dalam mesyuarat tersebut secara tertib. Kita ada adab dia. Dan kalau tak setuju pun, boleh nyatakan mengapa kita tidak bersetuju dan berikan fakta-fakta dan berhujahlah secara berhemah. Ya. Jangan dalam mesyuarat senyap, tetapi di luar mesyuarat apabila keputusan telah dibuat, kita cakap keputusan itu tak betul dan so on. So penting supaya apa juga isu dibincangkan dalam mesyuarat tersebut, dalam perbincangan tersebut. Kalau tak setuju, nyatakan. Tetapi apabila satu persetujuan telah dicapai, pastikan semua orang menyokong keputusan tersebut dan laksanakannya. Yang ketiga, dari segi keperluan untuk guide, memberikan panduan kepada rakan-rakan kita dalam pasukan. Dan sebagai seorang leader, team leader sebagai contoh, pastikan kita bukan mengarah saja, tapi kita juga mempraktikkan bagaimana sesuatu perkara itu boleh dibuat. Keempat, kita perlu bersikap menonjol, di mana kita, kalau boleh itu, kita volunteer untuk menerajui sesuatu projek ataupun inisiatif. Kadang-kadang kita rasa
proaktif
macam
lah tu Tan Sri.
Betul, be proactive ya. Dan kalau ada nak buat tu, be prepared to actually volunteer. Take the initiative to lead things, if I may. Dan yang kelima mungkin perlunya untuk kita berkomunikasi. Apa juga yang kita buat, kita perlu communicate dengan rakan-rakan kita, dengan pelbagai pemegang teruh stakeholders, so that they know what we're doing and how they can play a role and how they can actually support our initiatives, and insyaAllah that become successful. So itu perhaps secara keseluruhannya. So mungkin kalau saya balik kepada organisasi, so maknanya antara satu cabaran, mungkin kita boleh dapat mempertingkatkan prestasi organisasi itu semasa kita ada di situ. Tapi apabila kita keluar, tiba-tiba prestasi meredum. Mungkin setengah pemimpin tu dia kata, oh, saya keluar je, company itu lingkup. Dan dia kata, oh, that's why I was good. Sebenarnya tidak. Jadi kalau kita berkhidmat di sebuah organisasi, dan apabila kita meninggalkan organisasi tersebut, prestasi mereka menurun, ini bermakna kita tidak menjalankan tugas kita dengan baik. Kerana kita tidak menyediakan organisasi tersebut, the platform dan the capacity untuk terus meningkatkan prestasinya. Jadi bagi saya ada 3 perkara yang perlu dilaksanakan untuk memastikan kesinambungan sesebuah organisasi itu. Pertama sekali, kita perlu memilih pemimpin yang baik, yang bersesuaian.
So it means about like a succession planning, Tan Sri?
Yes, that will be the second one. But I think the first one, lantiklah pemimpin yang betul, yang baik, ya. Dan antara ciri-ciri utama ada banyak. Saya sering fokus kepada 3 ciri-ciri utama. Mereka yang berintegriti, berkebolehan dan bersikap merendah diri. Ya, maksudnya people with integrity, competence, and with humility. Jadi dalam konteks integriti ini, kita perlu melantik mereka yang berintegriti. Apa yang kita maksudkan integriti adalah membuat sesuatu perkara yang betul, walaupun tidak ada orang yang melihatnya. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Dalam perkara mudah, jangan menipu, jangan mencuri, jangan ambil rasuah, jangan beri rasuah. So don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal, and don't take off or give bribes. Ya. Itu dalam konsep integrity. Kedua, berkebolehan, maknanya mereka perlu mempunyai skill dan pengetahuan yang sesuai untuk membolehkan mereka melaksanakan tugas dengan baik. Yang ketiga, humility, sikap merendah diri ini mungkin satu ciri yang kurang dipertekankan, adalah penting. Maknanya mereka yang bersikap merendah diri ini, mereka bersikap menghormati orang lain. Mereka they stay grounded to their roots, maknanya sedar akan asal-usul mereka, dan mereka ini sedar bahawa kita hidup di dunia ini hanya sementara, dan and there's a greater purpose in life, rather than our self-interest. Dan kita juga sedar bahawa untuk berjaya, kita perlukan sepasukan. We need teamwork in order to succeed, because kita sebagai seorang individu kita tak tahu semuanya, so we need teamwork in order to succeed. Jadi bagi saya adalah jelas kalau seseorang itu berintegriti, berkebolehan dan bersikap merendah diri, dan mereka bekerja dengan gigih dan secara pintar, I think insyaAllah dia akan berjaya. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua adalah apa yang Prof Hayati sebutkan tadi, pentingnya succession planning, leadership development. Jadi untuk pastikan sesebuah organisasi itu dapat terus berjaya, pastikan untuk setiap position ataupun jawatan yang penting dalam organisasi, kita kenal pasti kalau boleh 3 orang yang boleh menjawat jawatan tersebut. Dan untuk 3 calon ini kita identify dari segi bilakah mereka boleh dapat mengambil alih, maknanya dia punya state of readiness tu. Kita juga determine apakah langkah-langkah intervensi ataupun yang perlu kita lakukan untuk mensiap sediakan mereka ini untuk mengambil alih. Jadi sama ada mereka perlukan latihan teknikal tambahan, ataupun mereka perlukan latihan kepimpinan, pendedahkan kepimpinan, ataupun mereka perlu didedahkan kepada bisnes, profit and loss, sebelum mereka diberikan jabatan tertentu. Dan biasanya kita perlu buat review ini secara 2 kali setahun. So macam kalau dekat Maybank dulu kita review antara 150 hingga 30 bakat-bakat ini, dan kita tengok apa yang mereka perlukan dan sebagainya. So it's a laborious process, tapi perlu. So mungkin ini lebih mudah dalam sektor korporat. Di peringkat universiti mungkin sukar sebab kadang-kadang tu pergerakan tertakluk kepada kelulusan daripada luar. But I think perhaps it's something that we can actually move towards in the longer term, towards greater autonomy, di mana pihak universiti boleh diberikan empowerment yang lebih besar untuk melantik divisi sebagai contohnya, untuk masa depan. Yang satu lagi berkaitan dengan talent development ni adalah berkaitan dengan perlunya kita strike the right balance between internal promotion dengan external hire. Bagi saya biasanya kita memang mahu pastikan kita ada talent development yang memberikan keutamaan kepada mereka daripada dalaman untuk naik ke atas. Tapi kalau kita 100% mengambil orang dalam saja, ada risiko selepas 30 tahun, 40 tahun, 3 dekad, 4 dekad, ada risiko organisasi tersebut akan menjadi insular. Jadi mereka ni fikir mereka terbaik sentiasa, sebab mereka tidak didedahkan dengan competition di luar sana dan sebagainya.
So kalau Tan Sri, kalau saya boleh interrupt sedikit Tan Sri, from your opinion kan, pendapat Tan Sri, bagaimana mixture kita punya between luar dengan dalam tu Tan Sri, kalau kita relate balik dengan Maybank lah, yang your experience.
Bagi saya so striking the right balance, so secara amnya majority, maknanya 75%, 80% daripada peluang yang ada di atas tu kita isikan dengan calon-calon dalaman. So maknanya 20% hingga 25% mungkin daripada luar, bergantung kepada keadaan dan kedudukan. Jadi apabila kita ada 20% so mereka ini akan dapat membawa masuk pembaharuan, pemikiran yang baru, dan juga memberikan competition kepada 80% yang di dalam ni, supaya mereka
so this is about yang 20 to 25% ni Tan Sri is about probably strategic leaders kot,
yes,
who is actually at the top.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So and of course saya juga sering menggalakkan program-program cross fertilization, di mana kita galakkan mereka yang dari dalam ini diberikan pendedahan di luar sana. Maknanya kalau ada program, maknanya kita boleh second menempatkan seseorang itu setahun ataupun 2 tahun di sektor korporat, dan vice versa, kita ambil mereka daripada luar ni masuk ke dalam institusi universiti, serve 1 or 2 years. Ini akan banyak membantu meningkatkan exposure. Jadi apabila dia balik tu, dia lebih pendedahan, dia dah banyak network dia lebih baik, dan sebagainya. So that's something which bagi saya adalah penting.
Alright Tan Sri. Thank you Tan Sri for that one, second round yang tadi tu So kalau mungkin kalau saya boleh recap sedikit lah apa yang Tan Sri share kepada kita. Okay, I think really deep from Tan Sri punya heart yang mana kalau kita tengok daripada at the operation levels at the tactical level you mention as kepentingan sebagai seorang individu, bila mana conduct the meeting kan Tan Sri kan, as a team, bagaimana setiap organisasi bagaimana we be able to lead the team. You mention on hot culture tadi Tan Sri, yang mana on the to be honest open dan juga percaya to put trust on each other and at the same time as Tan Sri said bila mana kita conduct meeting dan sebagainya if we have any kind of issue, kita bercakap secara direct. Once we confirm, kita dah bersetuju dengan our decision, and then move together Tan Sri kan.
Betul.
Alright and at the same time amat penting juga seperti Tan Sri mention kita sebagai pemimpin, sama ada at strategic level ataupun tactical level, maybe I use the term Tan Sri, to guide lah and at the same time sebagai individu to volunteer, be proactive I saja just recap lah Tan Sri and you also mention dari segi that one is more kepada operation but bila mana Tan Sri mention tadi 3 elemen which is about how we manage our people. It's about people lah. I think dia punya intipatinya adalah the human capital development how we actually groom, nurture our own people dan as Tan Sri mention yang pertama tadi, lantik pemimpin yang baik 3 benda Tan Sri mention on the pemimpin yang baik itu bagaimana, integrity, have capability on his or her own and at the same time rendah diri lah humility Dan yang kedua, Tan Sri mention succession planning. I think this is very important ya, Tan Sri, especially seperti UiTM ya, kita very huge. Apa pun berlaku sebenarnya dia bergantung kepada the action, the executions, as you said, execution ataupun perlaksanaan ya. Kita mungkin buat cantik ya strategic planning, but without execution, as Tan Sri mentioned, it will be a bit tough. So it means strategic planning succession planning succession planning ya. Dari segi leadership development ya, you mention on how bila setiap leader itu, pemimpin itu, kita kena measure dia bila dia ready ya, dan juga always be ready ya, siap sedia ya, dan mungkin perlu ya latihan-latihan ya. And saya tertarik ya bila Tan Sri mention ya, probably before we appoint these leaders ya, mungkin to focus on business tadi, profit and loss. And in fact our Vice Chancellor also mentioned it's about you have to know to deal with the finance. Otherwise, it's quite tough to be the leader, especially at the strategic level or tactical level. And of course, throughout all those kind of things, it's about talent development, Tan Sri. And then you mention, those kind of thing juga menarik saya untuk memberi komen, especially when you say that 20 ke 25% daripada luar mixture mixture between external and also internal jadinya I think it is very important because sometimes kita mungkin akan rasa sentiasa selesa dengan yang dalam, namun kita perlu juga beri sedikit what we call inject sedikit what we call
pembaruan,
external value kan, daripada luar untuk some kind of change perubahan ataupun transformasi unless yang dalam pun of course we should appreciate because they have done a lot kan Tan Sri. Namun kita kena bagilah yang mana Tan Sri mention tadi in terms of cross fertilization, how we should be train them, measure our own people dalaman dan sebagainya, supaya kita tahu their own status quo, dan kalau they are not ready, so how we can give more training, training on skill, training on knowledge dan sebagainya. Alright Tan Sri, kalau kita go back, itu saya recap pun panjang Tan Sri. So kalau now we go to the third sections which is more kepada masih relate kepada peoples, which is the importance of Tan Sri kita as an individu leading self leading the team, because tadi pun you exemplify on how we we conduct a meeting, how we get concerted decision at the end, and how every team itu sepatutnya dengan decision itu kita menggerakkan apa yang sepatutnya kita gerakkan lah especially on the agenda of transformation untuk kita achieve like UiTM, of course you want to achieve globally renowned university and to relate juga Tan Sri on the leading organisation. Saya sedikit relate Tan Sri dengan satu buku ini, David J. Squaws in his book The Magic of Thinking Big. And it's about the idea of transformation is due to the facts that crisis reveal need for change. So it's about the crisis and how those kind of thing is require perubahan lah memerlukan perubahan, and also progress require change. So it means it's about how we lead the change and how we change the way we lead. So it's about we in different levels of the leaders, kepimpinan, strategic leaders who actually maneuver ataupun drive entire organisation and lead team, sama ada small, kecil ataupun besar Tan Sri, dan juga as the entire organisation dan juga dekat peringkat operasi, yang mana peranan setiap individu Tan Sri, setiap individu staff untuk membantu capaian sebuah organisasi So jadinya Tan Sri, kalau kita relate dengan semua ini different leaders, we ourselves kita berbaliklah kepada kalau kita pergi jauh pun Tan Sri, at the end of the day, it's about a person yang nak melaksanakan perancangan yang kita telah rancang bagi sebuah organisasi. Jadinya Tan Sri, bagaimana kalau Tan Sri boleh relatekan, and in fact kita perlu, because this one is actually the last portion lah the last portion of our session, yang mana Tan Sri boleh rapkan how is actually the strategic leaders, tactical leaders, leading staff as a person, how we as the what we call academic institution be able to achieve internationally high impact academic institution. Mungkin Tan Sri boleh relate juga because of course it is very important on the international partnership, the collaborations with industry, to ensure that every single staff be able to create their own destiny, their own destination ke arah mencapai what we call of course global competence, because those kind of thing nobody be able to do it except as an individu. Kita perlu merancang Tan Sri. If in engineering we say that kita perlu design, reka bentukkan dia tu Tan Sri. So bagaimana benda itu boleh di-achieve Tan Sri untuk relate balik kepada main topik kita lah. Silakan Tan Sri.
Terima kasih Prof. Wow, okey, besar tu dah banyak. Mungkin kalau boleh saya balik kepada matlamat, tujuan, purpose of an organisation. Jadi bagi saya sebagai sebuah institusi pendidikan, tugas utama universiti adalah untuk membangunkan modal insan yang sesuai untuk pembangunan negara dan pembangunan masyarakat. So itu fungsi utama bagi saya, broadly speaking. Jadi antaranya adalah untuk memastikan apa juga graduan yang kita keluarkan menepati permintaan dan mereka dapat membantu bukan saja negara dan industri, tetapi juga untuk membolehkan mereka mendapat kehidupan yang lebih baik. Jadi bermakna pertama sekali apa juga kursus-kursus pengajian yang kita bekalkan mestilah sesuatu yang relevan, yang ada permintaan daripada industri dan juga mempunyai supply yang cukup daripada sebelah pelajar tu.
It's about demand and supply.
Demand and supply, indeed. Dan kemudian kita pastikan kualiti pendidikan itu kualiti yang baik, yang mengambil kira keperluan industri. Dan inilah di mana industri academic collaboration adalah penting untuk memastikan apa yang diajar tu relevan. Sebab saya pernah melihat di mana nota syarahan tu, lecture notes tu sama apa yang 20 tahun dulu dia buat, dia tak refresh, padahal industri dah move, so I think that's something that needs to be refreshed regularly, and you can only do that by bringing in the experts from outside to actually be able to change and adjust your syllabus and your curricula and so on. Itu yang kedua. Yang ketiga adalah dalam konteks research. So jadi sebagai sebuah universiti macam UiTM, sebuah universiti yang komprehensif, dalam konteks pelbagai bidang tu perlu ada research yang mendalam dan research yang dapat digunakan, so applied research, yang kemudian boleh dikomersialkan. Jadi dengan kerjasama yang rapat dengan industri, kita boleh pastikan commercialization research ini supaya dapat menjana pendapatan yang berterusan. So as you know, the challenge now for universities would be the adequacy of funding, very limited, and from time to time we have to start looking at how do we bring in students that can pay the fees and how we can commercialize our research from the IP that can then generate enough returns. How can we attract more endowment from the alumni dan also from the business community and from the various rich families and so on, and then start to be able to actually deliver. So bagi saya ini antara perkara-perkara yang penting yang perlu dilaksanakan. But seperti saya sebut tadi, tidak mudah. Dan bagi saya perlu juga fokus kepada where we can make a difference lah. Saya kadang-kadang risau tentang kalau kita nak jadi terlalu besar, tapi kita tak not easy to cope. So sebab itulah perlunya empowerment. Maknanya kalau macam saya sebut tadi, satu universiti 30,000 student pun dah challenging. Ini ada 200,000 student, hampir 7 kali ganda lebih besar. So tidak mungkin untuk satu kumpulan pengurusan untuk menguruskan begitu besar sekali size organisasi. Jadi pendekatan yang telah pun dibuat oleh UiTM di mana banyak empowerment daripada 34 kampus tu di bawah 13 state. Dan setiap state tu ada rektornya. Dan mereka diberikan empowerment cuma kecuali kewangan. So but there will have to come a time where you will have to empower everything. So sebagai contoh, kalau di Maybank tu, pendekatan kita dalam negara-negara di mana kita beroperasi, pengurusan tu fully empowered. Maknanya kalau CEO di Singapura tu memang CEO bertanggungjawab end to end, service level, kewangan, everything. So especially dalam konteks retail business, yang kita adakan support daripada group adalah dalam bidang investment banking, wholesale banking. So ini boleh dibantu strategi dan semuanya. More support rather than control, if I may. So I think kalau kita gunakan pendekatan tersebut, saya rasa in the future to manage such a large organisation like UiTM, there will have to be more empowerment, but with appropriate control levers, if I may, and guidance and support from the centre. Not sure whether I've answered your question.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Tan Sri. Okay, so few points, Tan Sri. I just recap. Tan Sri highlighted, berkenaan dengan modal insan, graduan yang memenuhi pasaran, kualiti pendidikan, and at the same time, of course, sebagai universiti, kualiti penyelidikan. And daripada penyelidikan itu, Tan Sri, you mention on commercialization, how, of course, bagaimana kita nak commercialize, of course, without, kalau tanpa, kolaborasi bersama industri, kolaborasi bersama industri untuk teaching and learning improvement dari segi curriculum, seperti mana Tan Sri mention tadi, kursus-kursus yang ditawarkan, kita bawa orang industri ataupun kita bekerjasama keluar ataupun ke dalam daripada industri masuk ke UiTM sendiri, so that improvement can be done. Dan juga Tan Sri mention to make different. I think it is very important, Tan Sri. Yang mana to make different ini, of course, if let's say we remain the same way, the same approach, Tan Sri, it will make no different. And that one is very important for the movement of UiTM or any institutions of higher learning. And then you mentioned on the endowment, on the business of the community, and full empowerment. I think inshallah, that one, we will have a look on that one, as a whole. But of course, the processes of the transformation of the entire organisation is very important, to be have a look lah, Tan Sri, daripada top to bottom, bottom to up. Okay, Tan Sri.
So, boleh saya tambah sikit lagi. So, balik kepada matlamat ataupun tujuan dan mandat institusi pendidikan ni, untuk melahirkan human capital yang diperlukan oleh negara. So jadi back to issue about supply dengan demand, kita ada major issue yang mungkin kita tidak bincangkan lebih mendalam lagi.
Okay.
Ada mismatch ya, antara keperluan dan penyediaan supply. So sebagai contoh, dalam sektor E&E di Penang sebagai contoh, mereka kekurangan engineer, technician yang mendesak. Lebih daripada 1,000 sekarang ni. Dan mereka kata nak dapatkan daripada lokal ni tak dapat. So mereka minta kerajaan meluluskan, membawa masuk engineer daripada luar dan sebagainya. Which is sad sebab kalau kita lihat dari segi unemployment, walaupun memang rendah pada kadar 4%, tapi banyaknya yang kita sebut underemployment. Maknanya mereka yang bekerja bukan berdasarkan kepada pengalaman yang mereka ada. So jadi that's one area. Satu lagi contoh adalah di mana sebuah firma audit antarabangsa, mereka sedang mewujudkan satu shared service center di sini, di mana kerja-kerja audit sebagai contohnya untuk firma mereka di seluruh dunia boleh dilaksanakan di Malaysia ini, dan mereka memerlukan 5,000 accountant bertauliah dalam jangka masa 5 tahun. 1,000. Jadi maknanya ada banyak permintaan, tetapi mereka yang boleh tak sampai 100 pun dia dah dapat rekrut. So maknanya supply tu, relevant supply tak ada. Mungkin ramai yang graduan business accountant, tapi mungkin tidak menepati apa yang diperlukan oleh firma ini. So there must be that effort to actually match. So whatever adjustment that we need to do, we have to do it to meet the demand. Satu lagi saya nak sebut dari segi,
tapi kalau saya boleh interrupt Tan Sri, what is your opinion, pandangan Tan Sri sendiri kenapa benda tu dapat berlaku lah, especially kalau macam tadi engineering. I'm interested to respond that one because I'm from engineering kan, mechanical engineering. Jadi pada pandangan Tan Sri, why it is happen sedangkan bila kita dapati sometimes the demand for the student to enter to any institutions, not only in UiTM, kadang-kadang rendah. We have so many allocations for this engineering, let's say, but there is no student to choose the program, for examples. Why? Is there any kind of things at what when you say that mismatch just now, mismatch dekat mana tu, Tan Sri?
Yeah, so this is the second point I wanted to make, because kita keluarkan statistik keboleh pasaran graduan, graduate employability, di mana kalau berdasarkan kepada setiap tahun tu dia meningkat dari tahun ke tahun, dan I think the last time bagi saya dalam 85.5%, 86%, dan banyak universiti yang melaporkan sehingga 96% graduate employability. Tapi apabila kita buat kajian yang lebih mendalam, apa yang dilaporkan, Khazanah Research Institute pada bulan April, 3 bulan lepas, dia ada buat summary daripada apa data yang dikeluarkan oleh universiti ni. 60% daripada graduan yang dilaporkan bekerja, dapat kerja ni, gajinya RM2,000 ke bawah. Right? So Prof dah ambil pelajar daripada lepasan SPM, masukkan dalam universiti 4 tahun, dia dapat bachelor's degree, dan gajinya RM2,000 ke bawah. Malah 40% daripada apa yang dilaporkan ini, gajinya RM1,500 ke bawah. 12% gajinya RM1,000 ke bawah. Jadi there's a big problem. Maknanya apa yang kita laporkan sebagai employable, sebenarnya tak employable. Sebab nak dapat gaji RM1,000, RM1,500, tak payah masuk universiti. Maknanya lepas SPM boleh tu kerja dan boleh dapatlah gaji tu. So I think the point here is actually there's a huge mismatch, there's a huge problem. At the same time kita ada demand ni. So I think we therefore have to make adjustments of the courses that we offer to make it relevant. So don't just produce offer courses that will not help the people to be able to actually gain a better life, better jobs, more income, or be entrepreneurs for that matter. So I think this is a serious issue.
Okay.
So saya tak tahulah UiTM punya figure tu bagaimana. So jadi bagi saya jangan fokus kepada quantity alone. So make sure that it's actually the relevant. Bagi
quality,
quality. And bagi saya boleh. I think because it's proven macam tu 5,000. So surely you can train enough people to be able to actually meet whatever requirements they have. Likewise in the E&E industry ni. So supply tu banyak. So we can actually surely get whatever 1,000 to 5,000 immediate requirements of these people. Konteks saya, dia punya keperluan tu lebih kepada 5,000 yang keperluan mendesak. So hopefully that's something which UiTM and others can address. Immediate problem and the longer term issue.
Okay, thank you Tan Sri. So I think of course as the Universiti Teknologi Mara, of course I think whatever you mentioned between the mismatch the supply and demand, we should have look positively in the sense that of course bagi saya tadi tu mungkin in terms of dia punya communication, we should go out outreach to those industry. For example kalau tadi engineering ataupun untuk audit tadi team yang mana keperluan untuk accountant dan sebagainya kan. So jadinya bila kita go out we should be able to reach them and we know what is actually the kind of demand in terms of skill, knowledge, which we should be able to tailor-make our curriculum, our program. And at the same time, mungkin jugalah, I don't know Tan Sri, maybe at the same time it's about as entire Malaysia to have a look as well on the top down on the policy. Bagaimana for examples the role of industry to support directly the institutions, or in terms of quite interesting, and in fact it will take longer time kalau kita berbincang bagaimana kita menetapkan the salary for our graduate, because I believe even like UiTM ataupun mana-mana institusi sama ada public university ataupun private, we put a lot of effort, but I think it is important for our government at the same time to have a look what kind of the scheme, the salary scheme, if I can say so, for our graduate, because it should be a balance, because it should be balanced between the top down, bottom up, so that we can leverage in terms of the what we call the demand and supply. So I think it should be a way, Tan Sri, untuk the cooperations between all the insyaAllah like UiTM, we supply di Bumi Putra for Malaysia, okay, insyaAllah Tan Sri. So I think alright Tan Sri, I just got reminder it's about to 10 minutes left, probably less than 10 minutes okay. So insyaAllah kita have a look Tan Sri few before we actually conclude maybe we have a look the few question which we be able to capture from the online. So pertamanya Tan Sri, okay, saya baca Tan Sri bagaimana mengurus dan mengatasi professional fatigue seperti mana dilakukan di Maybank. Itu soalan pertama lah Tan Sri, silakan.
Terima kasih. So the business model pertama sekali Mas Brad. So jadi kalau kita clear apakah matlamat kita, purpose kita, dan kita match dengan apa yang kita perlu buat dan bagaimana struktur organisasi kita dilengkapkan untuk membolehkan kita mencapai matlamat tersebut, dan kita boleh buat apa juga adjustments lah. Sebagai contoh, kadang-kadang tu dari segi proses tu boleh diperbaiki. So mungkin saya bagi contoh dalam konteks bank ni, katalah kredit nak meluluskan permohonan kredit tu. So kalau masa dulu kita ada proses yang very lengthy, very detailed evaluation oleh pegawai, lepas tu dia ding dong dengan pelanggan tentang maklumat yang diperlukan, lepas tu dia submit kepada komiti untuk approval. Lepas tu proses tu ambil sampai 3 bulan sebelum pelanggan tu dapat jawapan. Itu merupakan satu masa yang lama sebab kita merasakan kalau kita lebih teliti, lebih lama kita proses, asset quality lebih baik. Sebenarnya tidak.
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Yeah.
Sebab apabila kita mengambil masa yang terlalu lama, pelanggan lari. Ya. Maknanya pelanggan yang dah dapat daripada bank lain, dia dah lari dah. Yang tinggal tu cuma pelanggan yang kurang berkualiti lah. Yang kredit rekod dia kurang baik sebab dia sanggup tunggu.
Dan so it means Tan Sri, we have to expedite,
Yes, expedite. So the speed of execution is actually important. Also empowerment. Sebab kadang-kadang kita rasa komiti punya decision ni lebih baik daripada individu. Tapi bagi saya untuk amount yang kecil, kita perlu empower individu. So mereka perlu membuat keputusan yang baik. Kalau yang besar sikit tu mungkin dua orang. Tak perlu semua melalui komiti sebab komiti ni perlukan mesyuarat, nak dapatkan tarikh mesyuarat tu lambat, dan kadang-kadang tu walaupun dalam komiti tu ada 10 orang, yang mungkin yang detail tu seorang dua je. So that means you are actually waiting for the committee to be meeting to be convened, whereas you can have actually done it with only 2 key people. Making that decision would have been faster. So again, the process tu kena kita pastikan. Jadi apabila kita improve dia punya proses ni, kita buat perkara yang perlu saja, doing the right thing, dan kita libatkan mereka-mereka yang perlu buat kerja yang relevan. Jadi tidak perlulah semua orang kena kerja sampai 16 jam sehari. Right? So that's how you reduce the number of hours, you make it more relevant, business lebih baik, turnaround faster, dan orang tak terlebih kerja lah. So jadi bagi saya untuk seseorang itu kerja antara 10 hingga 12 jam tu kira okey. Maknanya you are expected to work harder to be successful, but not 16 hours a day lah, if I may.
Okay, thank you Tan Sri. So I try to have a look actually online. If is there any other question? So most I think the audience just say thanks to Tan Sri. So have a look if let's say we have another question. Let me check very quick. Okay, probably this one the last one. When I browse at the bottom, Tan Sri, one question from Dr. Azman Ayub. Tan Sri, bagaimanakah yang dimaksudkan dan diamalkan oleh Maybank memanusiakan perbankan? Very quick, Tan Sri, because we don't have time.
Well, humanizing financial services, menginsankan perkhidmatan kewangan. Itu yang saya sebutkan tadi, ada 4 elemen. Pertama sekali, is about providing people convenient access to financing. It's about giving them fair terms and pricing. It's about advising our clients based on their needs rather than how much money we can make. And it's about being at the heart of the community, either people community or business community. Itulah yang kita maksudkan dengan humanizing financial services. So maknanya at the heart of community penting, macam kita ada branch di kawasan perniagaan. So kedai-kedai yang berdekatan, bisnes berdekatan boleh buka account di situ, boleh dapatkan kredit di situ, and so on. And macam kita juga menggunakan teknologi. So Maybank to you, Maybank invest a lot in technology to make it accessible to all the masses, right? And then we also go to other parts, so beyond Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, and so on. Again, it's about that, providing that convenient access to people to financing.
All right, thank you very much, Tan Sri. I think we are almost at the end of our sessions. So maybe Tan Sri, before we end, before I sedikit wrap kan, mungkin Tan Sri may want to have 1 or 2 sentences, Tan Sri, to actually to relate back as a whole, bagaimana you may foresee UiTM later, back kepada kita punya internationally what we call high impact academic institutions.
Well, no, Prof, maybe you can give me a few more minutes than 2 minutes.
Okay.
So quick one, maybe just to conclude my thoughts on leadership. I think just to emphasize to me that if you want to be successful, you must believe in purpose,
Okay.
do good, insyaAllah you will gain barakah, and your reputation will precede you. Keduanya tentang pentingnya kita embrace the qualities of a good and effective leader. Remember, integrity, competence, humility. Integrity, berkebolehan dan juga sikap merendah diri.
Okay.
Ketiga, kalau nak berjaya tu, no shortcut to success, you need to work hard and work smart. Keempat, jangan berhenti belajar, so use technology to your advantage. Kita bertuah kerana kita mempunyai information, banyak pengetahuan di luar sana at our fingertips. So just do your research and insyaAllah you can use it to your advantage. Kelima, tentang the need to focus kepada tugasan semasa, do it well, and insyaAllah you'll be successful. Keenam, tentang the need to focus kepada fundamental, focus on substance rather than form. Remember, form without substance will not get you anywhere. But once you achieve fundamental improvements, you can complement it with branding or rebranding as the case may be. Then you go a long way. Yang ketujuh, tentang the need to keep innovating, think outside the box in coming up with solutions to whatever problems that you have. Kelapan, the need to keep up with technology and embrace sustainability. Jadi penting kita menggunakan teknologi dan pastikan kita masukkan elemen kelestarian, environmental, social governance issues dalam operasi kita. Kesembilan, penting kita menjadi seorang yang sihat, sebab kalau kita tidak sihat, not fit, will not be good for our organisation. In fact, we can also be a liability to our family. Kesepuluh, kadang-kadang kita lupa berterima kasih kepada mereka banyak membantu kita, mereka yang boleh bersikap membantu, be helpful and be pleasant. So you may be the boss, but you don't have to be nasty to other people. And back to university, so saya rasa seperti saya sebut, it's the most difficult, most challenging university to manage because of your sheer size and the mandate given. But bagi saya, kalau kita fokus kepada tujuan kita, matlamat kita, dan kita sokong dengan strategi-strategi yang bersesuaian. Bila saya lihat strategi globally renowned university ni, GRU 2025 UiTM ni, saya rasa strategi yang baik. Apa yang penting adalah fokus kepada pelaksanaan. Okay. Dan this is where most people fail. Strategi cantik tapi tak dilaksanakan secara berintegriti. Bermakna truly implementing what we have outlined, do it in a manner which is appropriate, collaboratively, banyak bekerjasama dengan rakan-rakan sepasukan, dan kalau ada yang tidak perfect, kita perbetulkan along the way. Because just to be clear, there are no plans that are perfect. Right? So as we implement, kita say, ini mungkin tak sesuai, kita buat adjustment. Dan kalau kita tak dapat laksanakannya, adakah kita perlu resource tambahan, what else do we need, and so on. Make adjustments along the way and be pragmatic. And at the end of the day, saya sering sebut, kadang-kadang tu kita dalam melaksanakan sesuatu, kita ada kesukaran membuat keputusan yang baik and so on. Dan at the end of the day, bagi saya, put your hand to the heart, letakkan tangan di dada kita dan bertanya, adakah kita membuat keputusan yang betul dan baik. Dan I think insyaAllah Allah akan memberikan kita panduan untuk membuat keputusan yang baik.
Alright, Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, very insightful, Tan Sri, your answer, especially when you share just now, your thought, especially on the what we call leaders. So it is back kepada as an individual person, sama ada kita memang leaders at the top, at the middle, or at the operation, or we ourselves as a person, Tan Sri. So alhamdulillah, I'm not going to what we call recap whatever Tan Sri mentioned, but it is actually very important, whatever Tan Sri mentioned today, whatever his opinion on the what we call how the movement of the organizations like UiTM, which is we are very big university, but again back to the purpose, Tan Sri, back to the purpose of the kewujudan UiTM itu sendiri untuk menyokong ataupun membantu pembangunan anak bangsa kita iaitu Bumi Putra. Jadinya bila kita berbalik kepada kita punya the main purpose and of course with whatever we have done at the moment, our strategic planning on to be globally renowned university, dengan matlamat ada realignment back the strategi dan sebagainya. Dan yang terakhir Tan Sri mention on the executions of the strategic planning itself as a whole, insya-Allah kita setiap satunya sebagai staff UiTM, bila mana apa saja nasihat Tan Sri berikan tadi, whatever input it is back kepada kita sendiri. Bak kata Tan Sri tadi letak di dada Tan Sri, on our heart. I think that one is very important as a person. We should be congruent. Last night, yesterday actually, we discussed at my office, Tan Sri, it is very important as an individual person when we want to move forward, we want to move towards certain things which we already target. Our mind, our heart, and our body should be congruent, Tan Sri. So it means with the purpose, whatever our intention, our niat, to support ourselves, to support our team, to support our organization. InsyaAllah, especially when we refer back to the title of our topic, Tan Sri, which is Transformation toward Internationally High Impact Academic Institution from, even though it's from the corporate perspective, but insyaAllah, I think it will be materialized. We have to believe on it, and insyaAllah kita sama-sama berdoa so that we be able to achieve whatever our target UiTM. Doakan UiTM Tan Sri. So I think the last word Rabbi yasir wala tu'asir, Rabbi tammim bil khair. Semoga apa sahaja kesusahan yang kita hadapi akan diberi kemudahan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa taala, dan sama-samalah kita berdoa so that we be able to achieve our target, our strategic goal to be globally renowned university. By that, I think Tan Sri, thank you very much to all the audience online dan juga semualah yang berada di sini di Bursa Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih. All the best. Assalamualaikum.